call the meeting to order. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of Allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call of board members, please.
Commissioner Hetton.
Present.
Commissioner Parks.
Here.
Commissioner Rowland.
Attending.
Commissioner Ware.
Here.
Commissioner Watson.
Here.
Commissioner Welling.
Present.
Commissioner Wilson.
Here.
And we have Director Sanza.
Here.
Munoz, and we have some guests with us today.
I will now entertain a motion to approve the agenda. In addition, I'd like to make a motion, I will entertain a motion to approve the agenda and to approve Glenn Welding as our new secretary.
So moved.
Second.
Madam President, if I may, just a formality, it'd be subject to nomination and then roll call vote. So I don't know if you want to entertain a motion for appointing.
I will entertain a motion to appoint Glenn Welding as our secretary.
I'll second.
Well,
Yeah, so moved.
It
Then
moved
we
and
need a
seconded.
second.
We'll have roll call, please.
Is there a discussion on the motion?
You do accept, correct?
I do accept,
He
yes.
does.
I just wanted to make sure that there was a chance for a discussion on the motion as there are for any other motion.
Okay. We good now? We're good.
Yep.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Hetton.
Yes.
Commissioner Parks.
Yes.
Commissioner Rowland.
Yes.
Commissioner Ware.
Yes.
Commissioner Watson.
Yes.
Commissioner Wilson.
Yes.
Commissioner Welton.
Abstain. Okay. Motion approved. And we'll move to public comment. Oh, did you have something you want to say?
No, thank you, I appreciate
Hey,
your
Gene.
trust and confidence, thank you very much.
Glenn, can you introduce yourself and let us know what your background and everything was?
Certainly, Jerry, it's nice to see you again. My name is Glenn Welling. I'm currently serving as the director of the Veteran Military Family Center at Xavier University, 37-year Navy veteran. Did P3s for the first 25 years, chasing Soviet submarines all over the world. Got involved in helping stand up the Center for Naval Leadership on the reserve side, and then involved in some expeditionary warfare activities, went to Iraq for a year. Retired out of the Navy 2016. Also worked in the Pentagon as a civilian, ran the Yellow Ribbon Reintegration Program for the Pentagon, for the Department of Defense, and then became the Vice President of Operations at the USO in Washington, where I retired and came back to Cincinnati where our kids and grandkids live. So that's the brief overview. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll add, Madam President, on behalf of the staff for the Veteran Service Commission, we're thrilled to have Commissioner Welling on board, thanking former Commissioner Bill Burwinkle for his service on the commission, along with Commissioners Ware and Parks, representing the Board of County Commissioners. So we're thrilled that Commissioner Stephanie Stummer Dumas has nominated and the board has confirmed the appointment of Commissioner Welling. So
Thank you. It's my honor. Thank you all.
And we welcome you aboard to our board. And we know that you're going to be a great asset. We appreciate your willingness to serve. Okay. Now we'll move on to public comment.
Madam President, I still need just an approval of agenda. That could be by voice vote.
Okay.
I make a motion that we approve the agenda as printed. with
I'll
minutes.
second.
Okay, all in favor say yay.
Yay.
All those opposed, nay. Motion carried. Now we're down to public comment.
Madam President, we have lots of guests here today. I think it'd be helpful if we just go around the room, just introduce everybody in here. I don't think we had an opportunity to take names, so that would be helpful. Start with Cindy.
Yeah, how much do you want me to introduce myself?
Just introduce, just name and, yeah.
Cindy Sikoski.
Raphael Prophet.
Well,
Cornell White.
well,
Marie Reinhardt.
staff there. Okay, great. Thank you all for being here, public guests. At this time, I just want to quickly introduce, as you all know, we're a growing team. So I think since the last meeting, we've now added 3 more additional staff to our roster. So we have 2 interns here with us, summer interns. So I think this is the first time that the commission's actually had formal interns. So we're glad to have Teddy and Taylor here. Just stand up, introduce yourself to the board. What do you hope to get from this summer experience? Teddy, we'll start with you.
My name's Teddy Bissemeyer. Like you said, summer intern, and I'm going to law school, so I'm hoping to get a feel for government and the veteran side of things, veteran support.
Thanks, Teddy. Teddy's father is a U.S. Marine. We won't hold it against him, but thank you for being here.
You can.
All right. All right, Taylor.
Hi, my name is Taylor. I'm a summer intern, and I'm also going to law school in the fall, so I'm just hoping, it's my first government internship, so I'm just hoping to kind of feel things out and see how it goes.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you, thank you. And then we've got our new high-speed blow drag, Ron Mitchell, who's our new financial services representative / VSO. Ron, introduce yourself, please.
Ron Mitchell, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. Love a lot of experience. I come from the parole department, 31 years, and from there I've worked at the Veteran Resource Center on Hamilton Avenue, 7938 Hamilton Avenue, doing outreach work. So it's a pleasure to join the team, and I look forward to working with veterans and look forward to working with the commissioners.
That's right. Army National Guardsmen and
That's correct.
reservists. So we thank you. Thank you, Ron. I think that's all the introductions, our new team.
Okay, so we're still under public comment, and Bill would like to speak.
Thank you, Madam President. Good morning, everyone. I want to begin by thanking you for the opportunity to speak today. Boy, it sure does look different from this side of the table. And thank you for all you do and all you've done. And I'm very excited that someone of Glenn Welling's stature has joined the commission. Will certainly bring a much higher level of talent than I ever had to the commission and help us work forward to our mission. You know, it's not easy to step away from something you care about deeply, but that's what brings me here today. Due to ethical implications of dual public service outlined in the State of Ohio Attorney General's opinion, there's an opinion, and I argue that whole point, that opinions are like something else, everybody's got one. That didn't work. I made the difficult decision to resign from my position as the Hamilton County Veteran Service Commissioner. It did allow me to serve all the residents of Hamilton County, including veterans and their families, because I will continue as a commissioner for great parts of Hamilton County. It'll be my 10th year, and it was a very difficult decision for me. But while I'm not stepping away from this official role, my service to our veterans is far from over. It's only just beginning. I'm grateful for the opportunity I've served, for the work we've accomplished together, for the relationship that will continue to inspire me moving forward. Thank you for your trust, your partnership, and most importantly, your commitment to our veteran community, because together we are making a difference. Thank you very much.
Thank you for serving, Bill. You're gonna be missed.
Yeah, you'll be missed.
You will be missed.
Like, we could still go get lunch and stuff.
So, is there anyone else that would like to say something at this time? Always got something you want to say.
You know, I haven't been here for a couple of months, things going on.
I know,
Kids
things
in
were
college,
fine.
picking them up, that sort of thing, but, you know, happy to be here and, happy to see the growth, in the commission, so, thanks for having me.
Thank you, Colonel.
Sir, did you have anything you wanted to say?
You want me to present now, or?
No, we'll reserve that for
Okay.
staff
No.
briefing. Yeah,
All right.
part of the staff, just to stay
Okay.
for the whole thing.
I got you.
Okay.
All right. Poor guy. All right. I will now entertain a motion for the approval of the April 9th meeting.
I make the motion that we approve the minutes for
Second.
April the 9th with any necessary corrections.
Okay. There's a motion properly seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. motion carried. Okay, we're under old business. First up is the 2025 Appreciation Day event.
Okay, so Madam President, for our upcoming August 21st through 23rd Appreciation Day event, that is well underway in terms of planning. We had a fantastic public rolling out this Monday with the Board of County Commissioners, along with our other strategic partners, DAV, Cincinnati Parks, Association of the United States Army, Cincinnati VA Medical Center, all one team, one fight down at Sawyer Point to announce our upcoming Appreciation Day event. You'll see a handout here. It's a one-pager with our tentative schedule. We're still confirming with bands and live entertainment. But I want to give the floor over to our high-speed, low-drag outreach manager, Amber Indubisi, to just give an update on Appreciation Day planning, along with her trusted sidekick, Jenny, if she's not here, but Amber.
Well, she's greeting.
Okay, good.
So
Very
as
good.
you see with the handout, this is our tentative schedule. We are doing really well with the planning of this event. We do have 100 resource tables, but we have, as of now, we have north of 60 that are confirmed. And we are actually starting a B schedule for those that are reaching out wanting to be a part of the resources. So we're starting a secondary line for that. We do have our 4 bands. The acts are secured and confirmed. We have Varner Netherland Revival, P.N. Everson Price, and the All-Star Band, the Menus, and Sal Gonzalez and Stephen Cochran, which is a disabled Army veteran as well. The Kids Zone fireworks, we're in the process of booking our food trucks. And we're still working with the sponsorship. That's all coming through AUSA. Any questions? We're partnering with Metro, which James can bring you up to speed on how we're doing that as well. So.
Do you know how many food trucks that we have confirmed?
So we were discussing that, and right now, as far as food, it'll be a minimum of 7 trucks, but then there will be niche trucks as well, so there'll be an ice cream cart, cotton candy, a drink provider, but for just food, there will be 7, and it will be different cuisines.
I see vouchers for veterans and military members. What about the family members?
So we are feeding the veterans and military members through a voucher system.
Okay.
Everyone else, to include the community members, that will be for pay.
Okay.
This is generous.
And our registration is open. We do have the cards that are going out, and the Cincinnati Parks has already started to distribute our cards with the registration, QR codes on the back. The first distribution was the pig marathon and the pig abilities.
Thank you, Amber. And Amber and Jenny have cards, right, business card sizes, at the office for your for the commissioners to hand out. So it's a snapshot with a QR code of how to register for the appreciation event. You can hand it out at your discretion. I want to give our transportation manager, he is a Marine, so not as high speed, not as low. All right, the Marine jokes stop now. All right, okay. But James Massey.
However, Marines do have the ability to adapt and overcome.
That's
So just-
Especially him.
A great
Yes, sir.
segue.
So just to piggyback off what Amber was talking about with Metro. So our tentative plan for the parking and logistics for the Veterans Appreciation Day event was to utilize the riverfront garages, which proximity-wise, they're right there, would look perfect. However, the Bengals preseason schedule did come out. They have a preseason home game, and the Bungles have exclusive rights.
Whoa.
Sorry, the Bengals have exclusive rights to these garages, so we now no longer are gonna use them. So arrangements are being made for parking and transportation. So right now we have 591 parking spots in the Park House garage, which is located at Sycamore in Central Parkway. We have 400, either 425 or 435 at Sawyer Point. So right there, that's over 1,000 spots. And we're actively working with the casino to, get more spots as well. And for transportation, we're gonna have Metro buses shuttling back and forth, to make that possible. So where exactly we're gonna be sending all the veterans and family members, it's not 100% concrete right now, besides Park House and Sawyer Point, but we're actively working on those alternative arrangements. So it's gonna work out.
Yeah.
It'll be good.
Thank you, James. So, with the Bengals game the same day as our event, this is actually a win for us. I mean, it's gonna drive traffic down by the banks, and then with the time overlapping nicely, with the game ending right around 4 o'clock, our event is still running until 9 o'clock with fireworks. And I'm in contact with, corporate sponsorship with the Bengals right now to try to have us sponsor this upcoming season as a commission. And then that way, they do their part during the game and leading up to the game against the Colts to drive veteran traffic and public traffic to our event after the game. Okay, so Transpo will work out. It's in good hands. Thank you, James. Okay, Appreciation Day event. I think that's it for Appreciation Day. Thank you, Amber.
Thank you.
Yeah. Amber has a very important graduation to attend for her son graduating preschool today. It's a big milestone, big milestone. Teddy, Taylor, you're welcome to stay. If you like, you can dismiss now. It's up to you. And Ron, I know you guys are in the middle of work, so thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Glad to have you guys.
All right, moving on the agenda is the HR and Veteran Service Policies update, and the first is a financial assistance policy.
Madam President, just some housekeeping administrative items here. Just policy updates, putting forward formal policies for this commission and updating as we go, as we ascertain ways to just improve. So at this time, our other high-speed, low-drag financial services manager, Jim Gronefeld, is just going to update us on some of the updates to our financial assistance policy. Jim?
Okay, thank you, Director. The board tasked us with editing and changing our policy and procedures as it relates to financial assistance. As you all know, our objective in providing veterans with financial assistance is to kind of serve as a bridge towards long-term financial self-sufficiency. So we've added some language to the policy and procedures to that end. I mentioned in the meeting last month that we are now coming up with individual plans for each veteran who receives financial assistance. These plans are formulated through our financial services representatives to try to come up with a long-term solution for veterans, to make suggestions, and the policy and procedures that we changed, the additions that we've included, and some of the terms that we've edited all reflect those changes. They also reflect the changes in structure and the application process itself. When we get to the financial reporting later in executive session, you'll see that we've already seen some improvements in not only the application process, but in our delivery of assistance to veterans. So with your approval, we'd like to make these changes permanent.
Does anyone have any questions?
I do. Are you asking for us to vote on this today?
Yes.
Yeah, we're all.
I think we need time to review those changes, look at what the differences are between the original policy manual and what you have here. And I'd like take the time to do that. Maybe we can put the voting off until the next meeting.
To that end, Madam President, I'll just say that this agenda was sent out 2 weeks ago to actually forecast any questions that would come up regarding policy updates specifically. So it was the staff and I's decision that a 2-week timeline would be more than sufficient, but pending the board's discretion.
I never saw this until today.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
I never saw this until today.
Well,
email.
Was it email? I read
It was a document that I couldn't open on my computer.
I read it back.
You couldn't open the email on your computer, is that what you said?
Yes, I got an error this document with this app. So I waited till today to take a look at it, but I still think that we need time.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve this, cause it went out 2 weeks ago, and everybody around here had the opportunity to read it and this and that, but if anybody, can't, but the majority, okay, thank you.
Okay, we've had a motion to, approve the financial assistant policy, seconded. Is there any other discussion?
Yes, Madam President, just one correction, I believe on page 3, not relative to the financial policies, but it still says that that our commission consists of 5 commissioners.
Okay,
So that
so we
should-
need to make
that should
that
be revised to
8,
8.
yes.
And Madam President, I will say that, yes, Commissioner Welling, and I actually, as he reviewed this financial assistance policy update, he did bring that up, and my recommendation was to change that policy and make it consistent to our new approved board meeting rules and expectations that actually govern the appointment of the 3 additional commissioners. So I can amend this composition language to be consistent with that language.
Okay, that'd be great. So,
I have a question.
Sure.
Just kind of. We need an odd number of commissioners in the event of a tie.
Yeah,
Yes.
we can't do it. They don't need 1, 4, 3.
Commissioner Parks, we did bring that up to the Board of County Commissioners when they were seeking to appoint. But they chose 3. Right now, as it stands, it actually is working out because we don't have the AMVET seat being held. So this is comprised right now of a 7-person board. When we do get to a full 8-person board, I think it could be at the discretion of the chair to perhaps just have this was brought up last year as we went into this year's board meetings, that the chair could just be a tiebreaker vote. So there are steps that we could take.
that's how it should be, but, any board I've ever been on, the president is usually the tiebreaker, so.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Any other discussion, questions, concerns?
Does the motion need to be modified to incorporate that proposed?
I rescind my motion.
Do you want to just?
And then I'll make a motion to amend with the 8.
Okay, I second the
Okay.
amended
I amend my motion for any necessary corrections on the policy and procedure.
All right, and duly seconded. All right, any other questions or discussions? Hearing none, I think we should have a roll call vote on this. So, Pam, please.
Commissioner Hadden?
Yes.
Commissioner Parks?
Yes.
Commissioner Rowland?
Yes.
Commissioner Ware?
Yes.
Commissioner Watson?
No.
Commissioner Welling?
Yes.
And Commissioner Wilson?
Yes. All right, we're moving on to media releases and social media policy.
Same thing, Madam President, so this was sent out 2 weeks ago. This is a proposal to just add our media release and social media policy of our 4.10 section in our policies and procedures manual. This just outlines that any direct communication that reporters or media representatives would have with staff would just go through our communications coordinator, Jenny Drexel at the Outreach Department, and then the executive director would be informed. That way, there's one cohesive plan for addressing any media outreach with the office. Right now, our media policy is condensed to a 1-liner, so Jenny Dexter put this together and asking for a vote of approval.
All right. I will entertain a motion to accept the media releases and social media policy.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we will have a roll call vote.
Commissioner Hadden?
Yes.
Commissioner Parks?
Yes.
Commissioner Rowland?
Yes.
Commissioner Ware?
Yes.
Commissioner Watson?
I understand.
And Commissioner Wilson?
Yes. All right, and now we're moving on to the remote work policy.
Last policy update here is to implement an actual remote work policy in formality. Really, two things have come up in the last 6 months, and we realized that we need to actually put pen to paper on a remote work policy. The first one is an inclement weather policy. So as we had a snowstorm this past winter, we had to go into remote work operations. That's outlined here in section 1 of the policy, making sure that all employees in anticipation of weather emergency are prepared to work from home. We are able to do that now that our office is mobile. It was not the case about a year ago when every VSO in the office pretty much had standing towers. Now everyone's got laptops, can do the work remotely, in better service to our veterans. The second is a extenuating circumstance policy. So this is not covered by weather, but it happened about 2 weeks ago with Deputy Henderson's funeral. Again, we're sad for both families in this tragic accident. Deputy Henderson's family's loss. He was a United States Marine. We did honor him at his funeral. Also, we are also grieving with the other side. That's Mr. Hinton's family as well, the loss of their son. But the building went down, shut down because all deputies had to attend the funeral that Friday. So instead of closing our office, we went into emergency remote work posture because we were able to do that. That just formalizes it here under paragraph 2. It also opens in the event that on a case-by-case basis, if there are employees that are in long-term medical recovery, we've had one already on staff, instead of them being off work for potentially months on end, if there's an ability for them to work remotely, well then that better serves the needs of the office while also taking note of the fact that they are in medical recovery. So asking for voter approval for the remote work policy.
So moved.
And
Second.
we have a motion to approve the remote work policy, properly seconded. Is there any discussion?
Just got one comment. I think that when you have an ongoing policy where people are going to be allowed to work remotely, I think maybe we ought to go ahead and purchase some phones to allow them to do that, especially those that have been assigned computers already.
Thank you, Commissioner Watson. I will say that the staff's already on that. So the staff is already in the process of procuring by Verizon contract business phone lines for every member of the staff. That way they can work remotely with not having to use a personal phone. Pam Mincer is working very closely with purchasing department of the county to acquire those phones.
How much?
That's what we're getting right now from purchasing is a quote for phones.
All right. Any other discussion? Hearing none. Roll call, please, Pam.
Commissioner Hedden?
Yes.
Commissioner Parks?
Yes.
Commissioner Rowland?
Yes.
Commissioner Ware?
Yes.
Commissioner Watson?
Yes.
Commissioner Welling?
Yes.
Commissioner Wilson?
Yes. Okay, now we're going to new business, officer and committee appointments.
Madam President, in pursuit of Ohio Revised Code Section 5901.05 in support of our outreach strategy, I move to establish a volunteer veteran service committee to advise the executive director and board to expand the community partnership, promoting awareness to our mission. I further nominate as Mr. Bullwinkle chair, and then I would like him to introduce his other two persons that are volunteer members to this committee effective immediately. Bill?
Thank you, Commissioner. Bill Burwinkle, Army veteran.
Hello, my name is Marie Reiners. I served in the United States Navy for 8 years. My first couple years was at the Pentagon in public affairs, and then I became a Navy corpsman. I am currently at Xavier University getting my master's in health service administration with a minor in epidemiology and quality.
Cindy?
Cindy Skoski. I am an 8-year Army veteran. I graduated from West Point. I went to flight school. After flight school, I went to Fort Campbell, Kentucky with the 101st. My first assignment, I deployed to OIF 1. Came back and went to Fort Riley with the Big Red 1. Had a second deployment. in 2007 to 2008, and then ended up getting out after that in 2009. Currently a Vice President of HR for RWI Logistics, which is a logistics company affiliated with the Castellini Company, and I work down in Fort Thomas, Kentucky, and I live in Madeira.
I just want to add that, thank you, Commissioner Hedden. I know in speaking with a couple of the commissioners, there was interest in this Veteran Service Committee that is within the prerogative of this commission to stand up under Section 5901.05. It gives very broad latitude for this committee. It says that the duties shall be designated by the commission. It's very clear, right, that as we grow as an organization, we're a big county, and outreach is a huge need. We can spend an hour or two just having Amber and Jenny in the room just talking about outreach. And these three individuals have expressed on a volunteer basis to essentially do just that. It's help us do outreach better. And the thing that excites me about the three individuals here, not only they're all veterans, not only they're all Hamilton County residents, that is a requirement of the statute. If you look at their varied experience, they're actually serving a underserved need when it comes to the veteran population. Number one is, how do you get to veterans that are in the business sector? Typically, veterans that come into veteran service commissions are not active professionals in the business sector. Well, we want to get to them, right? Because we are a metropolitan county. Mr. Bill Burwinkle does just that with his business connections. Another one is veterans that are actively seeking education. Typically, you don't have a lot of students that are in a undergrad, associate, or graduate degree program within the county that are seeking assistance at the Veteran Service Commission. We need to serve them as well. Marie brings that as a current student at Xavier University. The other thing too is that, I fully am aware as a former officer in the military that typically officers don't seek assistance at the Veteran Service Commission. But yet we need to serve them, because commission officers are just as much veterans that are oftentimes in need, just like non-commissioned and lower enlisted officers. Sydney brings that as well. So I'm delighted for this nomination, and in their limited scope, I think they're gonna have maximum power for the county. And I think this is also gonna serve as a template, because I don't know of any other county in Ohio that has stood up this Veteran Service Committee to help specifically with outreach. So I'm excited for this new development. Thank you.
So I will now entertain a motion.
Absolutely, any
Oh,
questions?
I'm sorry. Well,
Yeah.
no, you do that after
No,
the
I'm saying
motion.
he gets it before.
You do it after
Okay,
the motion?
right.
Okay. Would you like to make a motion?
Yes, I make a motion to be approved. Second.
Second. Now, discussion, Lee.
There are a couple of questions. One is a mechanical question. The section of the law does not refer to this particular Veteran Service Commission as an outreach. It refers to it as a committee. The determinations of what that committee will do and be is left up to the commissioners. And if it's going to be a committee that advises the commissioner, the structure that you have here has this committee advising the executive director. So this committee is a staff committee, which doesn't necessarily make it a Veteran Service Commission committee. I brought this matter up, I discussed it with executive director, and I think most of the other commissioners, that this committee should be a committee that advises the commissioners and advises the commissioners directly. The functions that I see when I brought this up in January and February and March, were that this committee scope is way beyond just outreach. This committee should function to support the mission of the Hamilton County Veteran Service Commission. State law requires that there are 10 functional areas that we work in. And I think that the Veteran Service Committee should be working in all 10 of those areas. And it is established by state law that it is a commission that we establish as commission, is a committee that we establish as commissioners. And I think that committee should work exclusively for the commission, not just be an assistant to the director of outreach and the staff. It's not a staff, it shouldn't be a staff committee, it should be. Now, don't get me wrong, the executive director can establish any committee, any staff committee that he wants, but it's a staff committee. It's not a committee for this board. I think this board should establish this committee so that it functions for the board and it functions in furtherance of our 10 state mandated missions, not just one. That's the concept that I had when I brought this to the committee. I never got it on the agenda for one reason or the other, but the concept of a Veteran Service Committee is much, much broader than just outreach as a subcommittee underneath the outreach committee, which are staff committees.
I'm a little bit confused under purpose. It says specifically executive director and board, and also under core responsibilities, recommend outreach strategies and public engagement.
That's not what the law
to
says.
Executive board. But I think there's, what, to your point of, is this a staff committee versus a commission committee? I think under the purpose and responsibilities, the responsibility of these folks to also engage with the board, report to the board, provide advice and counsel, is stated within those sections there. And I believe the language is broad enough to incorporate all of those 10 pillars that you're talking about. While perhaps there's a focus on outreach and having people within these various sectors within our community to be able to conduct those sorts of activities, I think is really a benefit. But there's nothing explicit here that limits their ability to provide that sort of advice and service to the commission and to the staff, to only outreach.
What I read said that this committee is a committee that reports to the outreach committee, and then they report to the executive director.
That's inaccurate, sir. So I believe the motion language the commissioner hadn't read says board. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Executive director, board.
And board.
And board.
Which is what is outlined here. Correct.
This document that Commissioner Welling's referencing was sent out to all the commissioners 2 weeks ago in reference to the standing up of this committee, which I believe can be entered into the record as formalizing the purpose and core responsibilities of this committee. I'll just read it for the public. Pursuant to Ohio Revised Code 5901, the Veteran Service Commission Hamilton County establishes a Veteran Service Committee to serve as a strategic outreach body in support of the Commission's mission to serve and advocate for veterans and their families. The Veteran Service Committee shall consist of at least 3 veterans who are residents of Hamilton County, with 1 member designated as the chairperson. Members shall be appointed by the Commission and may be removed for cause. The committee operates in an advisory capacity only with no budgetary or supervisory authority. Purpose: the Veteran Service Committee is tasked with supporting the executive director and board by enhancing the Commission's community presence, fostering strategic partnerships with Hamilton County and the surrounding region, and identifying opportunities to expand awareness and access to the Commission services. Core responsibilities: recommend outreach strategies and public engagement opportunities to the executive director and board, serve as ambassadors for the commission in their respective veteran, civic, and professional networks, and assist in identifying and cultivating partnerships with local businesses, nonprofit schools, and other organizations.
Okay, these are all concepts that you are proposing. None of this is established. I've had some outreach with people in other county regarding how this committee functions, and very few of the 88 veteran service officers have this. In fact, I only know of 2. And they've structured the committee to work for the commission. You can't have two heads running one committee. Either the committee's gonna report to the executive director, who is not on the commission, he's on the staff, or the committee's gonna report to the commission. And the way it's written here, the concept that I saw in the documents that I read, it said that this committee would be under the outreach committee, which we have never established an outreach committee, and it reports to the executive director. I'm saying that this committee should report directly to the commission. We have one other committee that the commission has established this year, and that is the governance committee. That governance committee reports directly to the president of our commission. And I think that any committee that's carrying out a function of the commission should report to the commission. because the staff, including the executive director down to the receptionist, all work for the commission and not the other way around.
Okay, all right. Anybody else have anything else they'd like to say? If not, we'll go on with the vote. Pam, please.
Commissioner Hadden?
Yes.
Commissioner Parks?
Yes.
Commissioner Rowland?
Yes.
Commissioner Ware?
Yes.
Commissioner Watson?
No, absolutely no.
Commissioner Welling?
Yes.
Commissioner Wilson?
Yes. All right.
Congratulations all, thank you, thank you.
Welcome aboard, Bob.
You're welcome to stay for the duration of the meeting. I know if you've gotta go, busy folks, but yeah.
Okay, we're
No
on to
offense.
sponsorship. Thanks for being here, everyone.
Nice meeting you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Cindy.
Thanks, Cindy.
Looking forward to working with you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, yeah.
Sponsorship request.
Okay, Madam President, we have three requests for approval of the board for sponsorship. The first one is the Xavier University Veteran Military Center. Clarify, this was sent by Xavier representative. That was not Commissioner Welling, and my understanding, Commissioner Welling, rightfully so, will be abstaining from any votes that pertain to Xavier University. This is a request for assistance like we did last year. So we assisted Xavier University in the donation for their Service to Schools program. That would help assist Hamilton County veterans seek education benefits through Xavier. They've received the outreach score of 90, maximum is 100. That 90 recommends a approval of $10,000 up to 50% of total project cost. The requested donation is $15,000, so the recommended donation, the recommended sponsorship is $7,500.
All right. Do I have a motion to accept this project?
So move.
Second.
Second, is there any discussion? Roll call, please, Pam.
Commissioner Hadden?
Yes.
Commissioner Parks?
Yes.
Commissioner Rowland?
Yes.
Commissioner Ware?
Yes.
Commissioner Watson?
Yes.
Commissioner Welling?
Abstain?
And Commissioner Wilson?
Yes. So we have the approval of 7,500 for Xavier. Our next one.
Madam President, this is for Honor Flight, Tri-State. As many of you all know, Honor Flight is a fantastic organization that allows for oftentimes first-time trip to Washington, D.C., the nation's capital, for our veterans to see a lot of the sites, but particularly military veteran memorials that are consistent with their time in service during the various wars and eras. Outreach score matrix is 80, maximum is 100. That allows for a recommendation of 7,500 or up to 40% of total project cost. This is actually a limited ask of just the breakfast for the upcoming Honor Flight. That's a $2,000 breakfast, so that would allow for 40% of the $2,000.
All right, we have a motion to approve the 40% of the 2,000.
So
Would you mind
moved.
if I clarify,
Yeah.
under the 80%, it's 7,500 or up to 40%. The 2,000 is below the 7,500, so are we capped at 40% of the 2,000, or can we approve the entire 2,000 since it's under the $7,500?
Actually, yes, I will clarify, it's the total project cost, and I believe the
Okay,
total
yes,
project
okay.
cost is
I
estimated.
misunderstood what you said.
Yes.
Yes.
Is $650, yeah.
So it'd be $2,000.
Right,
Okay.
right.
We have a motion to approve the $2,000 for the Honor Flight. I will move on that. Motion to approve $2,000 for the Honor Flight, properly second. Roll call, please, Pam.
Commissioner Hadden?
Yes.
Commissioner Parks?
Yes.
Commissioner Rowland?
Yes.
Commissioner Ware?
Yes.
Commissioner Watson?
Yes.
Commissioner Welling?
Yes.
Commissioner Wilson?
Yes.
Okay, so it says that, we can actually go over and help with the breakfast.
Yes.
So I'm really interested.
Okay.
That's 4:30 in the morning, too.
You know, they oftentimes will allow for one member of the commission to actually go on the honor flight. So if there's interest, to actually go to Washington DC and be an escort.
I'm signed up to go, but I haven't
Okay.
been called yet.
Okay,
I mean,
all right.
I haven't been called.
I would like to see Lincoln go to representative, because I went, and I'm telling you, it's amazing. When you come back and you see like 2,000 people or more welcome you home from Vietnam, you just get emotional. Everybody was crying like babies, So it's a good experience, and I would like to see, somebody from this committee go on that flight if it's feasible, And I would recommend it be Lincoln. He's a Vietnam vet, he's a Marine,
He's already going. He's already going, so he'll represent the commission.
Hey, put me up in the top of the line.
Seems like a no-brainer.
Did they approve you yet?
No.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Cause your age, it might be a couple while, cause they go by your age or if you're sick, cause I went till I had lung cancer. So it's great. I mean, I recommend anybody to go, and with you, I'll go over and help with breakfast with you.
There you go. We got you. Got your back.
It's my understanding there's one leaving today.
It is, yeah, I saw it on the news.
Yeah. Okay, so I will entertain a motion.
I think that
We
was
already
approved.
did
Yeah,
that,
that's
sorry.
approved. Okay. The
I'm
last
talking
one.
about now. The next one, please.
The last one, Madam President, is the Village of Lincoln Heights annual Memorial Day breakfast ceremony. I got confused with the last one. This is the one where the total project cost request is $1,000. It's limited to the breakfast. So, of course, supporting our local entities and local municipalities allows us an opportunity to get front and center with veterans in the community. They're often underserved. In Lincoln Heights, we certainly want to send a representative there during the breakfast. I believe Amber and her team are going to go there, set up a table, help serve at the breakfast. So that outreach scoring matrix score is 85 out of 100. That allows for $10,000 or up to 50% of total project cost. That would allow us to support this up to $500.
Isn't that the same concept, since the request is 1,000, which is 1/10 of the $10,000 limit?
No, it's the total project cost.
Total
It's
project.
the lower,
Of the
the
total
lesser of.
project.
Yes.
Not just the
Right.
specific aspect.
The
Right.
total cost is $1,000.
For the breakfast, yes. And that's the budget they gave us.
We can eat in Captain Crunch.
Actually, let me elaborate on this. I'm kind of part of this, and I will abstain. But it's to honor the Gold Star families. We had 7 people that were killed in action. And it's like, it's more like a brunch. It's not like a real breakfast, and the turnout will, feed, it's little snacks, stuff like that as the breakfast. Not a full breakfast, but we're working our way up to that. But it's a great program. I mean, we had 5 people get killed in Vietnam, and 4 of them got killed in May of '68, and it's very close to my heart because I knew every one of them. And one of the persons done that is my brother's father from World War II. He was actually missing in action for 55 years. I went to Hawaii and got his body. One guy that's going on there is Vernon Williams. He's still missing in action in Korea. They know where his body is, but they can't go to the parallel because the North Koreans won't let them go. So, it's a wonderful program. And I invite everybody here to come. It's at 11 o'clock, the 26th, Monday at 1201 7th Street.
So we were able to donate $500?
Yes, and I will just say this, is that the reason for that is that, one, because we're a government entity, again, this is subject to discretion of the board to change the policy, but the outreach team and I believe that if we are sponsoring an event, we should be in partnership with the entity and not fully subsidizing these events and programs. So we believe that 50% of the total project cost or event cost is more than generous enough. So really, we're subject to the budget that they put forward, and I appreciate that Lincoln Heights even put a pretty detailed budget there. If $1,000 is their total meal cost, then that's what we're going to go with, and we are capped at the $500 or the lesser of $10,000.
Okay. I will entertain a motion to approve $500 for the Lincoln Heights
So moved.
recognition breakfast.
So moved.
Second.
So moved, seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll have roll call, please.
Commissioner Hadden?
Abstain.
Commissioner Parks?
Yes.
Commissioner Rowland?
Yes.
Commissioner Ware?
Yes.
Commissioner Watson?
Yes.
Commissioner Welling?
Yes.
Commissioner Wilson?
Yes. We're now on to the 2026 budget.
Madam President, so you see before you in your briefing material is a snapshot of our 2025 budget and review, also with the proposal that the management teams and I have put together, recommending board approval for our 2026 budget submission to the Board of County Commissioners per our timeline as dictated under 5901 by the end of May. We have to submit our initial draft to county budget, hence why this was sent 2 weeks ago to preempt any questions that may arise by any of the commissioners, and I have reached out to all individual commissioners asking if there was any specific questions, particularly about this budget. So as you see here, we are well on our way to spending the entire budget that we've been allocated for 2025. As you can see here, just looking at the last snapshot, which captures the end of April, we're already at, looking at the last line, 44.76% of our budget as a spend. So we're not even halfway through the year. We're set on track to already exceed 50% by July. The request that we are recommending is that we ask for $4,002,616.15 for next year. That is the by item itemization broken down by personnel and other expenditure. A lot of this comes to, in order for us to do our job and do it well, we need staff to do it. And because we're moving into the Mercy Health building, which is 3 times the size of our current footprint, we have the space to do that. We're quickly exceeding our space now. As many of you know, the reason why pretrial services is allowing us to use their boardroom is that our boardroom has been converted to a 6-person cubicle operations center. So that allows us to not wait until we get to the new building, but as our advertising has increased, we're getting more veterans that are coming in through the door, we need the staff to service that. That is the staff breakdown by the first item for full-time employees. That would bump us up to 25 staff members. Right now we're at 16 full-time staff. We'll soon to be 16. We have another veteran service officer starting tomorrow, actually. So it's staff, but also, more importantly, it's the actual service, providing of service. So you'll see there by items 890, accounts 890 down to 898, that's asking for increases in our rent, our utilities, indigent burial, of course, veteran relief, which is our catch-all bucket for a lot of what we do here, including these sponsorships for events into the community. I want to draw your attention to the supporting documentation in page 2 and 3. You see there outlined all 88 counties. If you just do a once-over and you look at these counties compared to their veteran population, Hamilton County, we are now the 4th largest county. We have 38,000 veterans. Every county is decreasing in veteran population steadily. We're now 4th largest, behind Montgomery, Cuyahoga, and Franklin County. If you look at the veteran population, and then if you go down to right at the middle, total budget appropriated, you have some counties that are spending well over what we are asking for next year, $4 million. And they have 2,000 veterans in their county, 12,000 veterans in their county. What does that tell you? One, they could just be spending like crazy. But I think, especially as I've traveled the state and actually visited these counties, they're actually spending these dollars where it should go, and that's veteran relief, veteran services. So I understand that the first question that may come up is, well, we went from $1.5 million in 2024 and the last 10 preceding years to a $3 million budget. Now we're asking for $4 million. Well, yes, because it is a steady increase to where our commission needs to be. And with the county our size, $4 million, that's not, I believe, what we're gonna need 5 years from now, but it's certainly what we need next year in order to do our job. I understand too that this increase is about 130% increase of the current year's budget. That does trigger the provision in 5901 that would allow the Board of County Commissioners to appoint 3 more commissioners, in addition to Commissioners Ware, Parks, and now Welling. That's their prerogative, but I don't think it should, that calculus should not be a part of our asking for the support we need in terms of resources. We certainly were blessed to have the 3 additional commissioners. So if they decide they need additional oversight and appoint more, well then so be it. But that's what we're recommending. It's a $4 million ask, and that's the itemization. Any of your questions?
I think it's way overdue.
Thank you.
And that the commissioners will welcome our transparency and growth.
And with the argument you just gave, I mean, you know, you can also say, hey, this commission wasn't doing as much.
There you go. Thank you.
Back then as we're doing now.
Right.
So, you know, I think they'll go for it.
And another thing, to piggyback, you look at the staff, and you know that our staff back then when I came in, what is this, maybe 4 or 5 people? Now you look at the staff and like just in the process and that we are doing right now, you know. So I think it's well overdue for the budget for that type of money we needed.
The other thing I'll add to that, Commissioner Henton, I'm glad you brought up the staff, is that right now I'm working with the HR department of the county. I've requested a competitive market salary analysis of our staff. So as I visited, as the staff is here, they're probably glad that they're hearing this. So I've identified that our county is not competitive when it comes to employee salaries. We are, as much as our sister entities are the surrounding veteran service commissions and also the Cincinnati VA Medical Center. They are our partners, but they're also our competitors when it comes to employees, okay? So as we're trying to attract the best, I think it is time for this commission to review competitive market analysis, just like the Board of County Commissioners did 3 years ago. And I know Commissioner Parks is well aware of this, is that they did a market analysis and saw that a lot of their county employees were leaving for other counties to get more competitive pay. We certainly don't want that to be the case if we're trying to grow and attract. So,
And women were being underpaid.
yes.
You know.
Yes, so I'm waiting for that analysis, and I hope to bring up our staff to more competitive salaries. So, yeah, they didn't know that, so surprise.
Surprise.
Okay. All right.
I didn't, I need to know what everything's going on.
All right. Any of your further questions?
Anybody else have anything else they'd like to add?
Are we in discussion? Is there a motion to approve this?
No, we're just discussing this. We'll go, if you have a question on the vote, then we'll entertain a motion to accept this recommendation for the budget.
So moved.
Second. Okay, discussion.
Yeah. This budget does not have to be in by the 26th of the month. There's a section of 5901, I think it's .021, I can't give it, we can look it up, that says in a year that the County Board of Commissioners approves new members to the board, that this commission doesn't have to comply with that May, or it's actually the last Monday in May deadline because of those additions, to allow for, 1, the new commissioners to become familiar with the budget, and number 2, consider the ramifications of adding these 4 new commissioners and possibly upgrading some programs along with it. So we're not under the deadline to return this policy into the county next Monday. That no longer is a requirement. I'd like to see us take a little bit more time because, number 1, we were required to submit a report to the state for progress on the 2025 budget. 2020, this current budget. And if we did that, I haven't seen it. if it was sent to the state without this board seeing it, that's something that I would like to happen. I think that the new commissioners would be, interested in looking at the progress that we're doing on our budget from that we requested last year to this year. I think they need to know that information, how we're doing. Are we spending what we said we're supposed to spend? And there's a format that we use. I can tell you that the first one that I saw that our administrative assistant did last year gave me a wealth of knowledge about how to pursue this budget process. So we don't even have that. I'm sure it was sent out, but I didn't get a copy of it. And I don't think any of the other commissioners got copies of it either. If you're interested in what it looks like, this is a blank one. I think it's 6 pages. And they go into your budget items, what you actually spent compared to what you budgeted. And if we can see that information, which is available, I think that we send it out, Pam. Okay. Then that would help us make up our mind and maybe be able to look at this budget more accurately. I never saw the report, and it is a financial report that we've approved, and I've never seen it. And we're not under the deadline. I'd like us to put this off till our next meeting so we can analyze, look at the data. I think that the new commissioners should see the old budget from last year and maybe even the year before that, to see where and how we are progressing financially. I mean, we're spending a lot of money, which I think is great. I have no problem at all with the numbers that I just heard. But I think that we need to look at it a little bit more carefully. It is a fiduciary responsibility. It is this commission's greatest responsibility. So I don't think we should rush and get it done by next month.
Okay. All right, any other comments?
I think this that says it all. I mean, if we're late turning the budget in.
We're not late.
I mean, you wanna be late though, you say.
No, I said that there's a section of the law that when the Board of County Commissioners appoints new members to our commission, that deadline no longer applies.
Okay, so, let me address that, okay? Commissioner, please provide the citation, because,
Yeah, I'm going.
5901.021 does not
I'll
say
get it.
that. Okay, 5901.021 governs the
I'll get it.
authority.
I'll get it.
Let me finish, please. Provides the authority for the Board of County Commissioners to appoint the 3 additional commissioners we have here. Nowhere does it say there that the statutory deadline is then suspended to provide for the
It says that.
ensuing year's budget requests. In fact, this is explicitly asked by County Budget Office that this be submitted timely, okay? The second thing to your point, yes, this report that ODBS asked for is annually during March. We've submitted that. It's an administrative function. If that is a requested report for a commissioner to review prior to looking at the requested budget for the ensuing year, that's something that I think would be helpful for the staff to know when this was sent out 2 weeks ago, so that we can provide it to said commissioner or the commission. We have that report that we can provide. I believed, and along with the help of the management team, that what you see before you is exactly what we need in order to do our job. You mentioned that you think it's helpful for the commission to see what we spent last year. Well, here are the numbers for 2025. If you believe it'd be helpful to see any other numbers for previous years, we have that information. It's just, sir, I would ask that those questions be given not during the meeting, but the reason why we send this out two weeks ahead of time, sir, is so that we can answer these questions ahead of time.
I don't think you sent it out
But
2 weeks ahead.
I agree. I agree in that when I look at this report, it has the same information that administrative tool is asking for. I can look and see what the budget was last year, what the actual was, and what the projected budget, and I just don't have any more questions.
And I don't think Alicia Reese has any notion to put another board member on the commission.
Well,
I don't
if they
think-
did, we would welcome them.
Yeah, yes, I don't think she's looking forward to doing that, you know?
And Commissioner Watson, I appreciate your consideration as the newest commissioner, the opportunity to review this information. But I can tell you that I've had the opportunity to do that, and as a matter of fact, it was covered specifically in my end briefing with Mr. Watson. So, and any questions that I had at that time were answered. So I
would be proud to submit this on time. I think it would demonstrate our growth and efficiency in addition to professionalism. And I think it's important that, that we reflect that.
Thank you. I agree with you.
Would you all like to hear the reference? Cause I can read it.
Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. It's under the section of appointing additional commissioners. 5901.021. And it states, if the Board of County Commissioners appoints additional members as described in Division B1 of this section, the board may permit the commission to submit an original or revised budget request for the ensuing fiscal year later than the last Monday in May, as otherwise required under section 5901.11 of the revised code. That is law. It's right here.
Right.
So
Commissioner.
whether you heard of it or not, it's there.
Paragraph 2 that you're referencing has to do with the 2025 budget that was submitted in 2024 that allowed the Board of County Commissioners to appoint the 3 additional commissioners we have here. But this is a new budget for next year. So that, and it's not a suspension of the timeline, it's a permitting of the budget to be sent if the Board of County Commissioners ask for a revision beyond the first Monday of May.
It doesn't say that.
So this is not pertaining to.
It does not say that. It said the ensuing fiscal year, and that means the one that's following the one where the appointment was made.
Yes, sir. But it says here, if the Board of County Commissioners appoints additional members, they have not appointed additional members for 2026.
Okay, I think we've had pretty much discussion on this, and I think we should go ahead and have a roll call, please.
Commissioner Hedden?
Yes.
Commissioner Parks?
Yes.
Commissioner Rowland?
Yes.
Commissioner Ware?
Yep.
Commissioner Watson?
No.
Commissioner Welling?
Yes.
Commissioner Wilson?
Yes. Okay, do we have any updates from the commissioners? Anyone have anything? I'd like to say that I was invited to be the guest speaker at the Harrison Senior Program. They were honoring Armed Forces Day. There was probably about, I would say about 90 people in attendance. We honored 4 veterans that were there. I had them a certificate of appreciation for their service. Also gave them a poppy pin. Also gave them one of our Post 199 challenge coins. And I also gave them the Hamilton County Veteran Service Commission coin. And we were very well received. It was a very nice program. They had 2 choirs there. They had a nice slideshow with a lot of the veterans there in that, and it was a very nice program. And one of the veterans that we honored that day after the program came up to me with tears in his eyes and said, you know, I've never had anybody honor me before. So we thought it was a great success, and it was a very nice, well-run program.
We do coffee of DAV at the VA, and we write next to where they could go in to the window. It's always closed to get help. And I started talking to the guys and recommending them down here, and a guy came back and really thanked us because he needed the DV-214 and he got assistant. So we recommended him down here. He came down and got a DV-214, which he needed to get his driving license, and he was really thankful. And with that, I was thinking maybe, you know, the Hamilton County Commissioners, that we do a coffee hour up there at the VA once a month, you know, and help out, and then bring a couple VSOs up there with tables where they can help the veterans and relieve some of the pressure off of the VA hospital representatives, because they only have 3 and they ain't in there half the time. So, you know, I think that we're doing a great job, because people come back to me and say, hey man, it can change down there. And I want to tell the staff and director, y'all doing an excellent job. People, the word is getting out. You know, thanks to everybody, every board member and every commissioner, you know, y'all getting it out there, you know, all y'all. So thank y'all.
just a couple of things, actually three. I had the privilege to present an award certificate to a member of the Aiken Junior ROTC component. I presented it on behalf of the Military Officers Association of America, and this is their trifold program. I'll pass it around. This one, they're available for anybody. And it was a good program. My involvement was very brief. I just handed the award, we took some pictures. But after they handed out all of the awards, the Major Wadler and Sergeant Lewis presented an award to this commission. And I didn't even know that we were being considered for anything except it's similar to this award here, but twice as big. I gave it to Amber, so she has it. And it congratulates our organization for supporting their junior ROTC effort. And it was just an honor to be surprised, because we had no idea that was coming. And so this year, Orlando was there with pictures of he and I accepting the award. In fact, I think it's in this outreach brochure that Amber provided. That's number one. Number two is the city of North College Hill is having a Veterans Day program on 24th, this coming Saturday, at a little small cemetery going back to the Revolutionary War families. And I'm involved with helping set that committee up, set that function up. But it's this coming Saturday from 12:30 to 2:30. Real tiny cemetery, right there on the corner of Gallup and Hamilton. And I just extend an invitation to anyone who wants to attend.
Oh,
When
that was
this coming Saturday.
What time again? I'm sorry. I found my house. I can probably stop by.
Right there at Hamilton and Gallup.
What time?
12 to 1.
12 to 1. Okay. 12 to 1.
And I want to make some comments about Memorial Day, but I won't do that. But I'll say one thing. We have 3 rock stars on our board who have been guests at the request of the Vietnam Veterans of America Chapter 10 to be guest speakers at our formal programs during the year. Our president spoke at the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Day program last year. Did a fantastic job. Commissioner Park spoke at that same ceremony 2 years before that. Did a fantastic job as well. And our newest commissioner, Commissioner Welling, was our keynote speaker at our Memorial Day, not our Memorial, our Veterans Day program in Eden Park last year, year before last. Last year we had the county recorder. He was our keynote speaker. But I'd like to, give those 3 a hand. We got some great people on our board. And let me pull out their ROTC part. I had met with the Assistant Superintendent of Public Schools for Cincinnati. They are, as the board knows, I brought up a request last year that we work with there are 46 high schools in Hamilton County. And we work to establish, for those schools that want, a junior ROTC high school program. It's an elective, and there's a whole bunch of benefits for it. I won't go into them now. But we only have one Cincinnati Public High School unit that has a junior ROTC.
Who's that?
Aiken. That was the program that we attended last Thursday. Wednesday? One of those is last Tuesday. We got a second coming on board. There was a request earlier this year that they established a junior ROTC unit at Sailor Park, down there on the riverfront. Well, that particular unit fell through because it was a Coast Guard unit, and they were looking at having our school right near the water, so we can do things like that. But the Coast Guard has a requirement that the school, high school have 5,000 students, and they didn't have it. So the Coast Guard backed out of that. The board, and I'll be meeting again with the board this next Friday, next Thursday.
That's why we only got one.
Yeah.
Well,
Right.
500, I don't know what the number is, but whatever it was, Sailor Park was too small. They're going to relocate to West High. And I'll be meeting with the West High rep as well as the coordinator for CPS. I'm meeting with her next week on the 27th, and then with West High. We're gonna be working at, getting these programs expanded. I started this concept a year ago. And we're right back, with the exception of the contact we've made and the relationship we made with Aiken, we haven't extended the program to any other high schools yet, except the Coast Guard wants to go to West High. So we're gonna encourage them to do that. I've also gotten some interest in Norwood High School, so we're gonna be working there. But, the junior ROTC units, are great ideas. And I think that, once we get them going, I think it'll catch on, and I think it's gonna be a fantastic program.
Okay, thank you.
So anyone that wants to work with me on it, staff or commission, just let me know.
Sir. Yeah, Madam President, we just want to give an opportunity for our self-sufficiency coordinator, Cornell White, just to give an update on our plan for better following up with our veterans that comes to our office. Cornell?
Well,
He's also high speed.
Very high speed, and a Marine.
There
you go. All right. I had a whole PowerPoint ready for you guys. I was unaware that we didn't have anywhere to project in here. But working with Orlando and kind of doing analysis of the office to kind of see how everything worked, I just put together a plan of what I was already seeing and experiencing. He had me bop around to each manager in each office to kind of figure out where we are, what we need, and how to move forward. That strategy we're calling Seize, Clear, Hold, and Build. It's a Marine Corps strategy that we do when we're ever out on a mute doing different things, but that first thing we wanna do, we wanna seize the veterans. We wanna get them at the earliest point possible to kind of get them in our system. The next phase is clear. We wanna clear all the initial barriers that's stopping them from being an effective member of society, and we wanna hold them there. So then we teach them the skills, like what Jim was mentioning with the finance, where we hold them to a standard of how this is how you maintain yourself. And then the last phase is where we build off of that to, you know, they then become leaders in the community or wherever, however they see themselves as their best self, we start to build them into that. Strategy is pretty solid. I've been working with Indigov. There are basically our CRM. They're gonna do the technology piece for them. I've been building out an app lockstep with them that I was gonna show you guys how it would look, but the Indigov will look different, but I have it set up. And looking forward to getting started. If you guys have any questions, I'm always here. If you guys have any suggestions, that's preferred, and I'm always here for that as well. Trying to make sure I'm not leaving anything out. But no, I think that's all of it. So thank you.
I love how you modeled that Marine Corps approach to this position.
Madam President, I got one more thing. I don't know how I forgot this. One of the presenters at the junior ROTC program was a Ohio State Department of Veteran Services employee who runs the educational accreditation program. And he sent me some forms. I think he also sent them to our executive director. Any new hired VSO officer, and I think it's a possibility for it to be backdated a year, who wants to use or who wants to receive educational credit benefits for his VSO training, they will now approve that, and you will get reimbursed for those hours that you spend on your VSO training to qualify for this job. If you are a veteran, those benefits will be made available to you upon application, and it won't cost. It's money that's just the Department of Veteran Services is making available to VSO officers who wanna use it. And I'm assuming it's,
Orlando, you're on that, right?
We are aware of that, and we are seeking further information on how to be certified. We have to be a certified site first in order to do that, but yes, we are aware, we're tracking.
That's good stuff.
All right. Last thing on the agenda, executive session to review emergency financial assistance applications for the period of 4/1/25 through 4/30/25 in pursuit of the ORC 121.22J and 5901.09C. That's A. And B, to consider the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, or compensation of public employee or official pursuit to ORC 121.22G1. I'll entertain a motion that we go into executive session.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
I think this has to be roll call
We had
for
to do a
executive
roll call.
session.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. This is financial aid, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
All right.
Okay,
Roll
Commissioner
call,
Hadden?
Pam, please.
Commissioner
Yes.
Hadden? Commissioner Parks?
Yes.
Commissioner Rowland?
Yes.
Commissioner Ware?
Yes.
Commissioner Watson?
yes.
Commissioner Welland?
Yes.
Commissioner Wilson?
Yes.
Should be a motion as well.
Yeah, I make a motion that we accept the financial report.
Do we have a second?
Second.
What was that for?
Financial report.
Yeah.
Motion
I
second.
second.
Yeah, look, Victoria already seconded. Okay, is there any discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please, Pam.
Commissioner Hadden?
Yes.
Commissioner Parks?
Yes.
Commissioner Rowland?
Yes.
Commissioner Ware?
Yes.
Commissioner Watson?
Yes.
Commissioner Welling?
Yes.
Commissioner Wilson?
Yes.
Okay. Motion
I'll now entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
Smooth. You gotta move.
Oh.
Move. You can say a move.
Move to
So move. Say so move.
So moved.
He's got it.
All right, we need a second.
Second.
All those in favor to adjourn the meeting, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
June 11th is the next meeting.